for your testimony. As a result, as you know, of the years-long drought on the Colorado River along the basin, there's been a significant reduction in hydropower generation. I understand that Hoover Dam has seen approximately about a 25% reduction in power generating capacity since 2000, falling from approximately just over 2,000 megawatts to 1,500. These reductions clearly have implications for power users and the power marketing administrations. These are an important source, not just because of the power they provide, but the load balancing functions as well. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me what you are doing with your budget to address the planning and R&D and how to deal with, we often look at just the water function, but the power function as well, and what is DOE doing to address that?
Senator Flake, in our budget, actually, we propose a more than tripling of our energy water program in FY17 to nearly, I get it exactly, I think nearly $100 million, because we think the whole set of energy water challenges is so important. One part of that is a new, which may not be useful in Arizona, but a new desalination hub for advanced R&D on much more energy efficient desal. But it also includes the energy water interactions for power. It includes wastewater treatment, and certainly not in the energy water program, but different from that. We support a lot of modeling about the implications of continuing warming on drought to understand those patterns so that we can then respond in a system way. But it's a very, as you well know, it's extremely serious.
Thank you. In October, a GAO issued a report on unobligated balances, analyzing whether balances exist in certain agencies, the size of these balances, and the opportunities for savings. Among these findings, GAO noted the unobligated carryover balances for WAPA, the Western Area Power Administration, exceeded the levels necessary to maintain certain activities and manage risk for those activities. For example, in 2014, the unobligated balance was about $92 million, or $40 million more than the officials deemed necessary to avoid risk. What is DOE doing to implement the recommendations that GAO made with this budget request?
Senator, I'll have to look at that offline. I'm not aware of the unobligated balance issues at WAPA specifically, so I'll have to get back to you on that.
There is a continuing concern among the users about WAPA and the lack of transparency there, and how the funds are spent and obligated. And it's an issue that we've had for a while, and I would encourage you to look at that.
I will, and if it would be helpful, certainly the administrator, Mark Gabriel, would be happy to have him come in and meet with you, if that's helpful.
That would be. And a related question, in the PMA portion of the budget, WAPA is seeking about 51 new FTEs to, among other things, I think, deal with cybersecurity challenges, related to the grid. But Southeastern and Southwestern power administrations presumably have the same needs and have addressed those needs without the need for new FTEs. Can you also look into to see whether those requests are justified?
We certainly will. I will note that WAPA, the fact is on the output side, they do provide energy at a pretty attractive price. And WAPA is a much more complicated system than SWAPA, for example, and with all of the challenges, cyber, NERC requirements, drought, certain parts of their stuff, old infrastructure renewal. Mm-hmm. So they do have a major need, but
I can understand that. But 51 FTEs as opposed to 0 on the other side seems a little off.
We'll look at that. Thank you.
And I'd like to know, as you look into that, whether this budget request relies on these aforementioned unobligated balances to cover those FTEs, or if that's where how they're doing that. So,
Okay.
thank you.
And I'm just, last note, just to make that unobligated balances, we have to look very carefully because often they really are vectored to specific projects, but I don't know in this case.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.